Hi there. My name is Emily Coffey, and I am excited to talk to you today about the urinary microbiome and calcium oxalate urinary stones in dogs. So let's start by talking a bit about what the microbiome actually is. This is a term that refers to the community of microorganisms, largely bacteria, that live on or within our bodies. So we have bacteria on our skin, in our noses, mouths, stomachs. And in fact, the human body actually contains about 10 times more of these microbial cells than our own human cells. So this microbiome has been shown to play a huge role in keeping our bodies healthy. But on the flip side of that, when the microbiome is disturbed in some way, it's been linked to numerous disease states. So today, I'm going to talk to you specifically about the urinary microbiome, which is also called the urobiome. And this is the microbial community that lives specifically within the urine. All right, so next let's talk about these calcium oxalate stones. So calcium oxalate stones are one of the most common types of kidney or bladder stones that we see in dogs. And they actually do not only affect dogs, but humans also get calcium oxalate stones. And in fact, in the United States, up to 10% of people will be affected by calcium oxalate stones in their lifetime. So it's a fairly big problem. The stones themselves can be very painful. Here you can see an X-ray, and that big yellow circle is circling a large calcium oxalate stone that's in the bladder of this poor dog. Because these are stones that we're unable to dissolve with diets or medications, in order to treat them, we're usually talking about fairly invasive treatments, such as surgery. Now, sadly, these stones are getting more and more common. So over the past 40 years or so, we've seen dramatic increases in calcium oxalate stones, both in dogs and in people. They're really difficult for us to prevent. So even after going through these invasive treatments to remove them, we then see high recurrence rates, which is really frustrating. Now, we know that various factors like diet, medication, genetics, other diseases can contribute to stone formation, but the true cause of calcium oxalate stones is still not well understood. And so that brings us back to this idea of the microbiome. And recently, people have started to wonder, could the microbiome play a role in calcium oxalate stone formation? And so in humans, they've actually done studies where they show people who have calcium oxalate stones have different microbes in their urine than in healthy individuals. Now, dogs are one of the few species, aside from humans, that form calcium oxalate stones naturally, which means that by studying this question in dogs, we have an opportunity to better clarify if and how that urobiome and urinary stones are linked. But unfortunately, currently we know absolutely nothing about the urobiome of dogs with calcium oxalate stones. And so that brings me to what we are doing here at the U. So at the University of Minnesota, we have a research team that's been assembled. It includes canine urology specialists, geneticists, microbiome experts, and we're really working together to try to answer this question. So what we're doing is we've recruited dogs that form calcium oxalate stones, and then healthy dogs of similar ages and breeds. We take their urine and we extract all of that bacterial DNA out of it, and then we sequence it, meaning we essentially try to read the code in that DNA to answer what bacterial communities, what bacterial species are there. And by studying this urobiome in these dogs, we're hoping to identify if there are specific organisms that promote stone formation or that prevent disease, which will help us both treat this disease in dogs and help humans with calcium oxalate stones, and potentially in the future open new avenues for disease prevention. Thank you very much.